of Shaquille O'Neal.
Signaling all the Boston Celtics championships. Maybe just a memory right now, but the Celtics hope to get back to that point. Unfortunately, they've come into this new building and have not been able to have success in the new building as of yet. Right now, let's take a look at the Circuit City starting lineups for the LA Lakers. Nick Van Exel and Byron Scott in the backcourt. Up front, Eddie Jones, Shaquille O'Neal, and Eldon Campbell. The Boston Celtics will line up with Dana Barros and Rick Fox at guard. Antoine Walker, the rookie from Kentucky, Dino Raja at center, and Eric Williams is the forward. Del Harris, the coach of the LA Lakers, who's been fighting the flu like many of his players on his squad. In fact, Eddie Jones was a question mark because of the flu. And there is ML Carr, who not only is the head coach of this team, but is also vice president and director of basketball operations. So we're set to go. The officials, Jack Nees, Don Vaden, and Scott Foster. The Celtics in white, the Lakers in purple. And what memories these teams have evoked over the years.
16 championships in Boston, 11 championships in Minnesota, and then LA. I would say that's not bad.
Quite a legacy. Nick Van Exel, the point guard, getting into Eldon Campbell, who's been slumping as of late. Misses the first shot of the game. Loose ball into the hands of Rick Fox.
Eldon Campbell must come in with a big game tonight because he can overpower any of the matchups, shoot over the top of the defense.
Tripped away by Byron Scott, and the first turnover of the game. The Lakers beating the 76ers on the road, of course, last night, 100-88. Their third in a row away from the Forum. Eddie Jones misses from the corner, and Antoine Walker with the rebound. Dana Barros throws it off the hands of Fox for another Celtic turnover.
Dick, tonight we have two quick shooting teams, and they are big in three-point attempts, and after you score, they will fire it up the right side of the floor and look for the early shot.
Lakers off to their best start in 5 years. Van Exel uses a Shaq screen, and the rebound, second one for Antoine Walker. Got to be one of the big hopes for the future for the Celtic team that needs a lot of help in a lot of areas. Dino Raja, the center, who's really a power forward, gets the feedback, and the Celtics have turned it over 3 straight times on their first 3 possessions. And now Van Exel knocks it away. Barros has it, and it's a flurry of turnovers marking the opening moments. Here's Raja with a high arcing shot, and the Celtics take the lead.
Well, that's the story of the league this year. We're just seeing teams coming in with 20 night in and night out.
Eddie Jones is fouled by Fox going to the hoop.
Now you could see as soon as the Celtics scored, right away the Celtics jump out of, LA jump out of bounds. First pass, long pass up the court, and they're trying to put the pressure on you. They're allowing the player to catch the ball 3/4 of the way up the floor and take you one-on-one.
Eddie Jones, second leading scorer, as you mentioned, the big 1-2 scoring punch, and they're looking for more help besides Shaq and Eddie Jones, but he has really stepped up, as you mentioned, taking over at small forward since Cedric Ceballos went down.
Oh, you love the numbers, and then you love the fact that he is shooting 48% and then 45 in threes.
Dino Raja makes a move to the hoop, changes hands, and gets the basket, his second, and it's 4-2.
Now he can give Shaq a lot of trouble, Dick, because he can take it off the dribble. He's a true power forward.
Eldon Campbell lays it in, and no defense that time on Eric Williams' part.
Well, Eric Williams has given up a ton of inches right there to Campbell.
And a block by O'Neal, and tried to knock it off of Williams, and he couldn't do it. Williams had it, and out of bounds, last touch by the Lakers, and it'll be a new 24-second clock, a kick ball for Boston.
Now, right now, you're going to see a nice move by Eric Williams. He's 6'7". He's given Shaq right there 6 inches. And the big fella is going to block a lot of his shots, and so will Eldon Campbell.
The big fella has improved in rebounds and block shots, which is what the Lakers wanted to see. Dino Raja, meanwhile, calmly hits from the baseline. He's 3 for 3 and has all of the Celtics 6 points.
Now, Dick, he can make that shot. He has range up to the 3-point line.
Double teaming, and the Celtics rotating well defensively. Byron Scott for 3. And the rebound, offensive board by Shaq. Here's Shaq going up over Dino Raja, and he gets into the scoring column.
Well, he's going to be very difficult to keep off the boards tonight because of the size and the physical strength.
Shaquille O'Neal averaging 25 points a game, shooting 60% from the field. It's a 6-6 game with nearly 3 minutes gone by in this opening quarter. Last year, the Lakers routed the Celtics in their 2 regular season games. Raja finally misses after hitting his first 3, and the Lakers are looking for their first lead of the game, but the ball is knocked away.
In the early going, we're seeing too many guys trying to thread the needle right into turnovers. Now keep an eye to the right of your screen. You're going to see the big fella go up here. Now just watch. This is a very difficult angle here, and he makes it look very easy. Nice bank.
Shaq with the ball now, again double team with Fox helping out Raja, and the feed inside. Eldon Campbell helped out on the weak side, and Campbell gets his second basket.
Nick, he's 7 foot. The guys that are playing him are 6'7" and 6'8". He's just going to shoot up over the top.
And this could be a game he could get back into it because he's down scoring and rebounding wise. Dana Barros with a jump shot, the 3-point star, ties the game at 8. And here come the Lakers again.
You cannot allow Dana Barros to come off that screen and roll. You've either got to trap him or get out on top, follow. Do not give him that long jump shot.
Here is Shaq. And Williams now on the other side doubling, helping Raja, but Shaq beats the double and has his second basket, and the front line of the Lakers have scored all 10 of their points. No surprise there. Undersized Celtic team. Shot put up by Williams, and Antoine Walker with the follow.
Williams and Walker play with their heart. They give you a lot of intensity, quick feet movement. So right now Campbell and Shaq cannot go to sleep defensively.
Fox got his hands on the ball. Eddie Jones' shot is blocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Celtics.
Dina Raja, nice shot block. He's 9th in the league right now with 2.3 shot blocks a game. So just keep an eye on this. Now Raja comes from the opposite side and gets a piece of it.
So Dino Raja at 6'11", one of the top shot blockers in the league. And there's Byron Scott with a good stroke from the corner, and he breaks the tie. The Lakers are up by 2. We're in the first quarter here. Dick Stockton along with Hubie Brown. Dick Versace is with us as well. Celtics and Lakers, first of 2 games tonight on TBS. Eric Williams on the turnaround, and the rebound by Shaq. Van Exel stop and go against Dana Barros, and a Boston foul before the shot on Dana Barros.
We'd like to show you right here, anytime that you get a screen and roll with Barros coming here, watch Shaquille O'Neal lay back. And when he lays back, he's just opening up the shot for Barros. Barros is not going to turn the corner. You see it right there, right in your face. They can do that all night long if Shaq is going to play the screen and roll with a lazy defensive attitude.
Now Antoine Walker is out guarding Byron Scott right now. Walker, versatile, can actually defend the point guard spot and play point guard if need be. Here's Shaq over Raja. Dino gets the rebound after and he throws it away to Eddie Jones. Jones waiting for his teammates to come back. 5 minutes gone by. Jones, nice. O'Neal, he's got it. Well played by Eddie Jones.
He waited until Dina Raja came over and put the double team.
Good patience shown by Eddie Jones, who's a rising star, no question about it in this league.
Well, he has the total game, Dick. He can score, and he can score with range and make the pass.
Forced shot by Raja, who was claiming he was fouled. Here's Byron Scott forcing it, going all the way, lays it up, and will go to the line. So the Lakers effectively pushing the ball up in the early going.
Yeah, I was surprised that he didn't lay that up with his left hand.
Timeout, Lakers by 4.
Moving to the momentum of Christ.
David Wesley is questionable, and D. Brown just got off the injured list. But the interesting story is Purvis Ellison. He had an injured toe, was moving furniture, and then dropped the table, literally dropped the table on his injured toe. That's why he's on the injured list. He was called Never Nervous Purvis. Now it'll be Always Nervous Purvis when moving furniture. Back to the table.
You know, Dick, that's why they say no heavy lifting. You know, whatever they say, and that's what happened there. But you mentioned David Wesley, who is out, and that hurts this team because this team does not really have a pure point guard. Barros is not, and he averaged 7 assists to lead the team.
Yeah, he's a true point guard, Dick, and can finish in the lane as well as a good outside shooter. So they're missing him this evening. He's out with a very sore foot. But the Purvis Ellison deal, he shattered that toe in 11 places.
Wow. Rick Fox committing his second foul, and on the free throw line is Byron Scott, who faced the Celtics in 3 NBA finals in the 80s. Recently played in his 1,000th game. Misses the first free throw. And before the game, Dennis Johnson, one of the Celtic assistant coaches, went over to shake his hand, and those two had great duels in the 80s in those championships.
Well, the reason why everyone was uptight because he missed that foul shot. He's an 88% shooter, 6th in the league.
Yeah, so he's human. 15-10 the score in favor of the Lakers, breaking a 10-10 tie. Here is Eric Williams with a basket and a foul. Good, strong move to the hoop by Eric Williams in his second year out of Providence.
Now, the Lakers that time gave you full court pressure. Anytime that Eric Williams gets the ball 17 feet, he will always take it strong to the rim.
Personal foul on Eldon Campbell, his first, and Williams with a three-point play, coming in averaging 11.5 a game. The Celtics actually have 7 players in double figures coming in, and there's the trap. Good feed, Jones, and he missed a wide-open layoff. That was a well-executed play. They didn't get the hoop, however. So it's still 15-13.
Anytime that you trap on foul shots like that, what you're trying to do is to get the early shot, and they did get it.
Antoine Walker beats Jones. Antoine Walker, the 6th pick in the draft, and the top rebounder for the national champion Kentucky Wildcats, ties the game at 15. So the Celtics have run off 5 in a row. Byron Scott stepped on the line and turns it over to Boston.
Now, this is just a beautiful spin move. Watch the quickness here. Now, see, now once he makes that move, he knows that he can overpower Eddie Jones because he's bigger and stronger and has the reach. Williams and Walker could be a major key in this game tonight.
And a major key in the Celtics' rise whenever they do get enough players. Good feed from Rick Fox to Eric Williams. He's fouled and will go to the line, and the personal is against Shaquille O'Neal. That's number 1 on Shaq.
See, we told you in a stand-up tonight, you can go small in this league, but you have to play a perfect game. And by playing 2 small people at the small forward and power forward position, you're relying on quickness. Then you're relying on Raja to out-quick Shaq. Now, in the early going, we're seeing good results. And any time that there is a distance to the basket, the quickness of Boston has been a major plus.
Eric Williams, 72% free throw shooter, makes 1 out of 2. And of course, ML Carr told us before the game he'll be that if he has to play 3 guards, he may go that route as well.
Now here comes the trap. Now you notice they're trapping the ball with 2 guys, and then let's see if they re-trap. They trap once and then they match up. So you have got to find now the mismatch.
Fox is playing, by the way, with 2 personal fouls. Walker defending against Byron Scott. 5 on the shot clock. Eldon Campbell goes strong and is fouled by Eric Williams, and they use the clock against the trap, bringing it up.
Astute observation, you old rascal.
Well, I've learned a few things of the round ball game from you.
But you know, the key being, once again, Vic, did they find the mismatch? And they did, down inside. Right away into Eldon Campbell, and he just takes it strong to the basket.
Eldon Campbell has dropped, as we said, compared to last year when he averaged nearly 14 a game and 8 rebounds. His production has been below par, coming in averaging 9.5 points per game.
You know, last year, Dick, this guy blocked over 212 shots. And, you know, it was the last year of his contract. He had the best total year of his career.
You know, normally a pretty good free throw shooter. At one time this year, he had 18 in a row from November 1st through the 10th. Missed one here, ends up with 1 out of 2 to tie the game at 16. So the Celtics with Barros, and here comes the LA trap.
The Lakers love to half-court trap after foul shots or give you 3/4 court pressure.
And here's Antoine Walker, dumps it off to Raja, who's been hot from the baseline, and Dino Raja now with 8 points. And he's been a hot shooter, 4 for 6 in the early going, and Boston is up by a pair.
Well, their drive, penetration, and kick game is working.
Wide open, Eddie Jones for 3. Eddie Jones from downtown. He's been a 45% shooter from the 3-point range, and the Lakers have a 1-point lead with nearly 4.5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Good move to the hoop by Rick Fox, and he lays it in.
You know, this looks like a game of horse. But in horse, you don't have a defender playing. I mean, it looks very easy here tonight. Both teams are beating their defenders off the dribble and executing and scoring.
And in a season in which the defense has held court, there's Eldon Campbell, and he's gotten off to a super start. 7 points for Campbell. 18 points of the 21 the Lakers have come from their front court. They've done the damage thus far. Eric Williams, nowhere to go, against Campbell. Well, Campbell's come out strong on both ends tonight. Here's Raja over Shaq, and he hits it. Good touch by Dino Raja.
That was a beautiful release, Dick. You know, he is a legitimate 6'11", and he has a beautiful touch. And if you notice the arc of that shot.
10 points for Raja. Barros, Matador style, try to disrupt Nick Van Exel. But Van Exel, who slumped last night on 1 for 7 shooting, gets his first basket of the game. And the Lakers by 1. Here is Fox trying to post up. Scott does successfully. And now Rick Fox with his second basket. All 5 starters have scored for both teams.
I'm waiting for the Lakers to show us their trapping of post people. They are so late this evening that Boston looks like they're playing by themselves.
We'll be right back.
Basketball Association. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the expressed written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited.
Tight first quarter with the Celtics leading by 1, 3:22 to go in the first, and a good start by Dino Raja coming in as the Celtics leading scorer.
Well, you've got to get out on him because he can finish. He has the perimeter game. He plays with his back to the basket. He can finish off the drive, can put the ball down. Now, you have to go back to last season. Last season, he averaged right at 20 points and 10 rebounds a game. So you can see in the early going here this evening, he's doing a nice job with O'Neal. He's giving O'Neal problems because he's facing 17, 18 feet and taking advantage off the dribble.
And this was a matchup that the Lakers figured to dominate because Raja really a power forward, his lack of size. But offensively, it hasn't turned out that way. And keep in mind that Dino Raja is playing with a broken bone in his right hand. It affected him in practice, and he comes out, no tape on it, but he's been in there. Well, the Celtics activated D. Brown, who had not played yet this year, the former #1 pick out of Jacksonville in his 7th year, seeing his first action, and he is a point guard, and the Lakers will counter with a rookie, Derek Fisher, out of Arkansas Little Rock. And Travis Knight, who played in the Big Ten, and the fans here familiar with Travis Knight from his days at UConn. Shaq double team. Byron Scott firing over D. Brown. And Antoine Walker gets another rebound for the Celtics. He's got 4 of them. Boston with a 1-point lead. 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Williams guarded by Shaq with a pump fake and the basket. Good play. Eric Williams off to a good start, has 6.
See, that was patience. Knowing that you're going against the shot blocker, he gave him the one fake and then a hesitation and then shot over the top.
Jones guarded by Walker, picked up, pick and roll, Shaq, no way to stop that one.
Now that was beautiful because Eddie Jones could have shot an uncontested jumper, but he realizes the Shaq man is going to the hole strong.
Dana Barros tried to force the pass into Antoine Walker. Good play by Eddie Jones. He's a star, no question about it. You'll be hearing a lot of him. And then the turnover on the other side. Good steal by D. Brown. Walker pulls up. Wild shot, rebound by O'Neal. He's got 3 boards as we get close to the 2-minute mark here in the first. Knight, Shaq. Shaq had great position inside.
He can do that against any center in the league. Anytime that he runs down the middle of the floor, posts up in the lane on the dotted line, and you allow him to catch it, it's over.
5 for 6, 10 points for Shaquille O'Neal. Dana Barros with a low pass to Raja. 9 on the shot clock.
Just take this guy strong.
And he off the rim. He had the right idea, went baseline.
You can't let a weak defender buffalo you into taking a bad percentage shot.
Scott again looking to Shaq. They want to go to the well as often as they can with a big size advantage inside, but O'Neal misses. Raja doing a good job, at least being a presence. Dana Barros pulls up for 3 and hits it. Barros more comfortable now that he's playing off guard with D. Brown in the lineup, and that is the first 3-point basket for Boston in the game.
Dana Barros will always attempt 5 to 6 threes a game.
Eddie Jones will attempt a few of his own. He missed that one, and now the Celtics with a 2-point lead. A minute to go in the first quarter. Eric Williams moves in, lost the ball, and here come the Lakers. 6 turnovers committed by Boston here in the first quarter.
The Lakers are very, very sluggish. We know that they played last night in Philadelphia in a very hard-fought game. They had to come back in the last quarter to win it, but they win by 12.
Here is Scott driving to the basket. Spin move misses. Travis Knight follows and draws the foul. And he'll be, you mentioned how they did play last night. And while the Lakers have won 3 in a row on the road, they have lost all of their back-to-back games that they played this year.
Now, they have played back-to-back on 4 occasions. They're 4-0 in the first game. They're 0-3 in the second game, with tonight being the 4th game. It'll be interesting to watch. Now, last night, this is what the rookies accomplished. Bryant, the 21 minutes and 12 points. Fisher did a nice job in the backcourt picking up 10 points. And then Knight, he was a surprise last night. In 20 minutes, he had 6 points as well as 7 rebounds.
Travis Knight, who was the hero in the double overtime win over the Houston Rockets in Houston a few weeks ago on the TNT, gets 1 free throw, and it's 29-28 Boston. You saw number 8, Kobe Bryant, come in the game, one of those rookies who played well last night. Barros misses. Marty Conlon is into the game, and he misses a follow-up. And the Lakers, with a half a minute to go, trailing by 1, 18 on the shot clock.
That was a beautiful shot block by Travis Knight. See, if he can just get in and make his size work for him. In the Big East, he was the leading shot blocker, and he got 9 rebounds a game. So, you know, if he can just put that to work for him here with the second unit.
Eldon Campbell, give and go move to Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones has 7, so 24 of the Lakers' 30 points have come from their starting front court. And here is a 3-point shot, is good or misses by Todd Day at the buzzer. And so the Lakers with a 3-point or 1-point lead, 30-29, and Shaquille O'Neal, 10 points, 4 rebounds, and hot shooting. We've completed 1 here at the Freak Center with the Lakers up by 1.
This Thursday.
Welcome back to the NBA on TBS. We've completed 1 quarter here in Boston's Fleet Center with the Lakers leading the Celtics in what has been a high-scoring quarter, Hubie, 30-29.
Boston shooting 54%, but they have 6 turnovers, holding their own on the boards 11-10. The Lakers shooting 52%, and they are only 1 for 4 in threes, where they are one of the top teams in the league.
T. Brown will bring it up for the Boston Celtics. Greg Miner is with him. Marty Conlon up front with Frank Burkowski making his first appearance and Todd Day. So the second unit of the Celtics in there right now. Miner, of course, has been injured. Played his first game against Dallas on Sunday and didn't play that much, just 11 minutes. Here's Burkowski, well-traveled big man, misses the first shot. Conlon misses the second, and a couple of blocks in there by Campbell. Travis Knight in, and finally persistent pays off as Todd Day gets the basket to give Boston the lead.
Well, one thing we are not seeing here this evening, and that's defense. You know, it's a nice, wild,
which is
wide
what
open
we've seen
game
in the league all year, right?
Got people are just taking people. Now, in that little battle, we did see 3 shot blocks by the Lakers.
Right now, let's send it to Dick.
All right, I'm here with Ruth Pointer. She did a beautiful rendition of the national anthem. I'm also a big fan, Ruth. I want you to know that. And before we leave to that, I want you to teach me the neutron dance.
Oh, gladly.
Now, why is it that you have to rush off?
I got to get home and get that bird ready for tomorrow.
So what do you have to be thankful for?
Oh, everything. Thankful for this wonderful city. Boston has always been one of my favorites.
How about this basketball team?
This basketball team is hot tonight. They're looking real good out there, you know. It's going to be fun.
Okay, we have a slow hand here. Back to you guys at the desk.
Great rendition. Here's Kobe Bryant of the national anthem by one of those Pointer sisters. She's outstanding. Travis Knight misses from the corner. Derek Fisher had scored earlier the last time back for the Lakers, who are up by 1. Seesaw game. We've had 14 lead changes and 7 ties already, and we've just started the second quarter.
Now, there's your early trap that time by Travis Knight.
Knocked out of bounds by Kobe Bryant.
The second unit for the Celtics, they're just playing an open game, what we call a passing game, and then they will just designate a player to post up.
Dino Radja led the Celtics in the first quarter with 10. Starts the second quarter on the bench. Marty Conlon set a moving block, and so he is hit with the foul.
Yeah, good call that time by Jackie Neese. Dino Radja had an outstanding first quarter.
Lakers beat the Celtics for the first time in the NBA Finals in '85 after losing 7 times in a row, and then once when they were the Minneapolis Lakers. These guys don't remember most of this, that's for sure. Derek Fisher misses the shot. Finally, it comes down to Todd Day, now in the hands of D. Brown.
Anytime that the Lakers come off a screen and roll, they can take it all away.
D. Brown misses out of bounds, last touch.
There's no reason to take a long jump shot if the lane is open for you. Turn the corner, get the ball in the lane, and get an easier percentage shot.
Day loops it into Minor, and a foul, no basket. Let's see if they do count the basket. Greg Minor will go to the free throw line, and the personal foul is against Kobe Bryant, his first, and it is not a shooting situation.
Right now we have an awful lot of young players out on the floor. Now Minor, they thought would be their starting 2 guard before he came up with that injury.
Conlon open for the moment, hits Marty Conlon, who came over from the Milwaukee Bucks right before the season started, and the Celtics lead by 1. Very close game between these age-old rivals.
Right now, everyone is making the long jump shots. We're seeing a lot of that. But we know that if you're going to win this game, you've got to establish something down inside.
Lakers with a sloppy offensive sequence. Here's Eldon Campbell shooting and missing. And the rebound by Conlon. And a pushing foul called against the Celtics. And it'll be against Minor, his first personal foul.
Yeah, he put Kobe Bryant about 8 feet out of bounds.
You mentioned Minor, who missed the first 10 games with a stress fracture of the right foot.
They like his game. They think that he can score as a 2-guard, post up, as well as hit the long shot.
Eddie Jones. Oh, that's the second time Jones had a great move and got everything but the basket as it rolled off the rim. Todd Day. And right now Jones is bottling him up. Jones can not only be spectacular offensively, he's a defensive stopper, but that time fouls Todd Day as he drove to the basket.
Well, Eddie Jones goes for the steals. He is in the top 10 in the 3 years that he's been in the league in steals. Last night in Philadelphia, he had 8 steals in that ball game.
D. Brown tipped up and into the hands of Travis Knight. I think the Lakers are liking a lot more of Knight than they figured when the season started, because he's already performed well in clutch situations. Derek Fisher, the point guard, driving in.
There you go.
No one there.
Dickie, it's there.
It's there.
I mean, it's just a matter of always coming off a screen and roll. You're not looking jump shot first. You're looking to get into the lane. If they come to play, you dish off to another player for a layup.
So the Lakers doing well with 3 rookies in their lineup. They're more than holding their own. They led by 1. And there's a block by Kobe Bryant on Day's shot. And here's Bryant with a feed to Jones. And a little bit high, but I tell you, Kobe Bryant, for an 18-year-old from a Pennsylvania high school, Lower Merion in Philadelphia, really has a sense of this game.
Yeah, well, he's doing an excellent job in the scoring, but the big thing has been the 54% shooting in 3 points.
He loses the ball there, but Kobe Bryant, who last night scored 12 points in Philadelphia, and keep in mind, he went back to his hometown where a lot of players may have the jitters, but not Kobe Bryant last night. As Byron Scott comes back into the game for the Lakers. Dino Radja checks in for Boston, and we'll see Shaq come back as well momentarily.
Well, we've almost played 5 minutes in this quarter, and we've only scored 7 points. It's quite a contrast from the opening quarter.
Now Radja, who had 10 in the first quarter, turnaround against Campbell off the side of the backboard. And the Lakers with a 1-point lead and the ball. 4.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Lakers with a 10-5 record and a fine road mark of 5-3. Losing the ball is Derek Fisher. Good steal by D. Brown. Nice. Brown feeding inside to Minor. He gets the basket. And the Celtics putting on an early show for the home fans. Again, lead by 1.
Beautiful pass in traffic by D. Brown.
Brown is guarding Fisher. You know, the scores have been down, but you have seen terrific defense throughout the NBA this year. And now Shaquille O'Neal and Antoine Walker come back, as well as Eric Williams for the Celtics.
Now this is just a beautiful bounce pass as it clears the defender and opens up the lane for Minor. We told you Minor can finish. He has good range. He can finish in the lane. He's a legitimate 6'6" and can shoot over the top of players.
So we're seeing more of the first units coming back for both teams now, with Just under 7 minutes to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, make that second pass out of the track.
And Exel alley-oop. And Kobe Bryant battling the loose ball. Eric Williams. And the foul on a trip foul will be called against Byron Scott. Good call by the official, Scott Foster.
Excellent hustle by Eric Williams that time. Came into camp 25 pounds overweight this year, off of knee surgery this summer. Now just keep an eye on this. You're going to see the lob up high, and Eric, now you can't say that was basket interference due to the fact that you are allowed to grab the rim if defensive players are underneath you. This is great hustle by Eric Williams.
And the Celtics with a timeout. We'll be right back.
Checking in on the Detroit Pistons hosting the Vancouver Grizzlies, and Grant Hill, that right wrist taped up. Grant had to leave Saturday's game in Charlotte with a sprained right wrist. Did start tonight, did score tonight. 10 first-half points, but it was the Grizz seeking their first road win and leading at the half by 3. Third quarter just underway. Let's go back to Boston. Dick and Juke.
All right, Vince, thank you very much. A tight game here, and it's been that way throughout. The Lakers led by 1 after 1 quarter. The Celtics are up by 1 now. We had a hot shooting first quarter, Hubie. Both teams over 50%, but that has plummeted.
Yeah, they're both struggling right now, taking bad percentage shots, and then we've had a rash of turnovers.
Brown with Raja, Dana Barros, Williams, and Antoine Walker in there now. And here is Raja working against Corey Blunt, who's come in the game, and Dino Raja with his first points of the second quarter. Corey Blunt, in his 4th year from Cincinnati, it's 6'10", who's been the top rebounder off the bench for the Lakers. In there now, along with Scott Van Exel, Kobe Bryant, and Shaq. No-look pass from Shaq out to Nick Van Exel, who hits from downtown. And the Lakers are up, or tie the game, at 37. But a bushel of ties, and the lead changes so far in this game.
Well, Van Exel's been up and down during the course of the season shooting threes. He's only shooting 31% for the year. But since today's his birthday, Dick, it's a national TV game. He should have a good night.
And a happy birthday, not to Eric Williams, who just scored the basket, but to Nick Van Exel, who turns 25 today. Brown knocks it out of bounds, last touched by Boston.
The Lakers are coming quickly now on the post-ups, double teaming, and the Celtics are sending the man right to the front of the rim and getting the return pass.
Williams picking up Van Exel on the switch, and now they get back to Barros. Here's Corey Blunt. They double team him. So they got Shaq and Blunt. Van Exel inside to Shaq. Try to reverse, no look shot off the rim. Fighting inside, Kobe Bryant. What a return by Kobe Bryant, coming in averaging 6 a game, and that is Bryant's first basket tonight.
That was a circus shot.
I think he's capable of that and more.
Yeah, he has the long arms.
Raja again in the low post. Shaq and Blunt double team, leaving Antoine Walker open. Misses from the top, and here's Nick Van Exel.
Nice.
Pushing it up in a good feed. Couldn't handle it. Scott couldn't handle it, but Blunt cleans up for him, and the Lakers are up by 2, 41-39, with under 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Pretty pass by Van Exel.
And Blunt alertly on the mishandle by Scott. Now Eric Williams.
Now this is smart. Take Shaq, force him to guard you off the dribble.
Knocks the ball away. Shaq knocked it away. Williams,
nice.
Good feed to Walker. Tips it up. And Walker's got to be kicking himself. He got a great feed from Williams and knocked the ball away. And a personal foul or an out of bounds?
Out of bounds. Right. You always tell young players, don't send up that soft stuff in traffic. Send it down with 2 hands, jam it through the basket, and that way you score and you've got a potential foul 3-point play.
Barros fires it up. Wild shot by Dana. The rebound by Corey Blunt. And here comes Kobe Bryant. Youngest player ever to play in an NBA game. What a great pass. A line drive. That was no alley-oop. That was a line drive pass to Shaquille O'Neal.
You could see that one all the way. Bryant was looking for the big fella. Anytime he's running on the break, reward him because he's working hard at both ends.
Shaq has 12. Raja with 12 leads the Celtics. And driving in is Antoine Walker for the basket. The rookie from Kentucky now has 6. And back and forth they go. The Lakers are up by 2, 43-41. Their biggest lead was 5. The biggest lead for the Celtics has been 3. Shaquille O'Neal Drops for him. O'Neal now, 14.
The Celtics can't stop him. He's just too big and too strong. And the same thing when Campbell's in the game. But at the other end of the floor, I'm really shocked at the softness of the Laker defense this evening from the foul line down, Dick. They're just beating them at will.
That is surprising. Shaq, 7 of 9 from the field. In the years and 2 months, the youngest player ever to play in an NBA game, Kobe Bryant. It looks like he's been around for a long time, will be around. Here's what Byron Scott said about it.
You call it showboat because he really loves the crowds. He loves the people walking around asking for autographs. He's like a big kid in a candy store. He loves the attention.
Hey, why not? He's overcome since the exhibition started a fractured wrist, a strained hip flexor, and you have to say to yourself, he's only 18 years of age. And then you say, well, could he have gone to college? Well, how about the fact that his college board scores were 1,080? I would say he could not only gone to college, he could have picked a school.
He would have gotten a master's degree. And there you see Kobe Bryant with his records last year at Lower Merion High School in Philadelphia. And Del Harris telling us today that an injured left hand at camp gave him more time to practice his shooting. And he has been an outstanding shooter, shooting 54% from the three-point territory. Rick Fox has come back in the game. He's in there with Greg Minor, Dana Barros, Eric Williams, and Dino Raja. And Minor will go to the line. And the foul is called against Kobe Bryant, his second. I want to remind you what's coming up on Turner Sports. The Heat and the Clippers, of course, coming up next from the Sports Arena. Miami now in first place in the Atlantic. The Lakers against the Pistons. That'll be Friday on TNT. That'll be a terrific matchup. The Heat and the Knicks from Madison Square Garden next Tuesday, also on TNT. A terrific group of games coming up for you. Keep it where it is.
Right now, defensively, every time that the Celtics post up, Shaquille O'Neal is leaving his man and being the double teamer. Now, if that happens, you must find Dina Raja because Dina Raja is wide open.
2 free throws by Greg Minor, and the Laker lead is 2. Corey Blunt guarded by Eric Williams outside. They have a big team out there. Blunt drives to the basket. Raja gets the rebound. He kept Shaq out effectively with his body. And now come the Celtics looking to tie the game again. We have 18 ties already in this game. Looking for number 19, and Minor misses the opportunity. Shaq with the rebound. He's got 5 now off the glass. Came in averaging over 13 rebounds a game. And Nick Van Exel hits his second from downtown. And the Lakers open up a 5-point bowl.
Main thing for the Celtics is to continue to take high percentage shots. You have plenty of time on the shot clock.
Minor foul driving to the basket. So the Lakers is matching their biggest lead of the game, but Greg Minor, who just hit 2 free throws, will go to the line for a pair more.
Anytime that you're playing against a team that's playing back-to-back games, they're sluggish defensively. We know that. So you cannot settle for the jump shot when you know that if you take an extra dribble or 2, that you can break the defense down and get to the rim. And when you do that, you're getting a high percentage shot or they're fouling you.
Eldon Campbell will come in replacing Kobe Bryant, who picked up his 3rd personal foul. So the youngster picks up 3, goes out, having scored 2 points, but a very active playing moments for him. And Eldon Campbell replaces him. Campbell scored 7 points, getting off to a good start in the first quarter. So the Celtics, with 2 more free throws by Minor, cut it to 3.
Now watch a half-court trap here. Now here it is right here. You have Fox and Barros. There you go.
Cross court, Corey Blunt short with it. He was open, and that's a shot you want him to make.
Oh, yeah, that's a shot if you're the pressing team that you want them to take.
And Raja alertly calls a 20-second timeout just as he was about to go out of bounds. And I'm glad that's not a rule they were thinking of changing that they changed. This is a good one. It takes a little alertness.
It takes alertness, but I'm from the old school. I'm hoping that they take that out. First of all, it was a lousy pass. It was a bad pass that was going out of bounds. If you can't save it, you shouldn't be allowed to call a 20-second timeout.
How do you feel about this rule? I mean, be more specific.
You're going to see the trap right here. The trap is late. Barros doesn't get over here. And then they find the free guy. Now, you see, that is a difficult shot to take. That's an in-between shot. So you say, well, the trap wasn't real great. Now, look at that pass. See, that's a very bad pass. I'm just hoping that the Board of Governors and the Rules Committee will eliminate that calling that 20-second timeout.
Moments after your partner just said, I'm glad they did not change that rule. So, folks, everyone is entitled to his opinion.
Well, I just wanted to see how you come back, that's all.
Just wanted to go on record. Point counterpoint is all this is. We're getting close to the 2-minute mark in the half. Lakers by 3, and the Celtics trying to narrow it again. Rick Fox working against Eddie Jones back in the game, and Jones committing the foul, his second personal. And that'll send Fox to the free throw line. Lakers are in the penalty, and the next foul against Boston will put them there. So here is Rick Fox on the free throw line. He is an 80% free throw shooter, averaging 12 a game in his 6th year from North Carolina. He is the only Celtics to start all 11 games. In fact, last year, pretty durable guy, started all 81 games that he played then.
Well, you know, they like his game. He's a good defender. He was a first-round pick, the 24th pick in '91 out of UNC. Played his high school basketball in Indiana, then played college at the University of North Carolina, and then played in the World Games for Canada in '94. His mother was a Canadian Olympic high jumper.
It was. Corey Blunt goes out, and they bring Byron Scott in.
Here's that trap again on the foul shots.
Under 2 minutes to go in the half.
Main thing is to force the Lakers out of their sets and then force them into freelance basketball.
Eldon Campbell, great bounce pass to Eddie Jones. Campbell playing a fine all-round game, and Eddie Jones with a finish now with 9 points, coming in averaging 16. It's 50-47.
Nice.
And Roger inside against O'Neal, goes up, and O'Neal rejects it. And O'Neal gets another rejection. 3 block shots for Shaquille O'Neal. Eddie Jones pulls up and misses it. So the Lakers try to get it up in a hurry. Didn't go, and now the Celtics down by 3. Greg Minor cuts it to 1.
Yeah, see, that's the part of the Miners game that they like. If you notice, the people were all upset. They thought that O'Neal definitely should have been guilty of a shot block, and I agree. If the referee had a better angle and thought that the shot was not going to go in anyway, well, then it's not a shot.
You know, I agree with you on that. Shaq fouled by Raja going in. And Shaq will go to the line for the first time tonight. Coming up on the Nike halftime report. Scores and highlights from around the league, along with the preview of the game coming up next between the Heat and the Clippers from Los Angeles, as Vince Cellini and Reggie Theus bring you the Nike halftime report. Here's Shaquille O'Neal with his first free throws of the game, and he continues to struggle. Shaq last night was 5 for 12, although he did hit 5 out of 6 down the stretch. But Sunday against Houston was 3 for 11, and that remains a major problem for the Lakers.
Well, he gets to the line 9 times a game, and you can see he's definitely not fluid at all. And tonight, he's shot putting the ball.
He missed them both. And that'll be an ongoing problem. You pointed out at the top of the broadcast, and down the stretch, he's going to get the ball and he's going to get fouled. So the lead is won by the Lakers out of bounds, and it is still Celtics ball.
Plenty of time. You have 10 seconds. Main thing in the last 40 seconds here, you have 2 possessions for 1. So get off a good high percentage shot. They're taking out Fox. They're bringing in Darren Day.
So Day comes in and Fox goes out of the game. So right now the Celtics. Minor with a 3, misses. Van Exel the rebound. So Day, Barros, Raja, Minor, and D. Brown, the 5 in defensively. Van Exel with a scoop shot and a nice one. Nick Van Exel now in double figures with 10 points. And with under a half a minute remaining, the Lakers by 3. 20 on the shot clock, about 2.5 seconds differential between the game clock and the shot clock.
Now, if the Lakers do a good job defensively here and get them to miss, they are going to have time enough to get off the shot.
Minor hits the jumper, and the Celtics trail by 1. Minor off the bench has 11 points, all coming in the second quarter. Lakers playing for the last shot. Campbell loses it, and that'll do it. And it was a 1-point lead for the Lakers after the first quarter, and that's the way we have at halftime. As you look at the comparison of the two centers, Shaquille O'Neal and Dino Raja, it's been a tight matchup in a battle that O'Neal was expected to dominate. So we've completed a half here in Boston with the Lakers leading the Celtics 52-51.
who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
Well, the Lakers and Celtics dancing their little dance at the Fleet Center. The Lakers have a 1-point lead at the break, and back here in Atlanta, getting you in step with the rest of the league. Welcome to the Nike Halftime Report. I'm Vince Giolini. He's not a coach, but he plays one on TV. Reggie Theus along with us. Let's get right to the highlights, shall we? We start in Toronto, where the focus last night was the well-being of rookie Marcus Camby of the Raptors. Camby collapses prior to last night's game with the Kings after an apparent back injury that caused numbness in his legs. After an examination, Camby returned to last night's game as a spectator. He's out at least a week with a strained back. Hornets in Toronto tonight, riding a 4-game win streak, and there is Camby, who said this evening now he may play as soon as Saturday. Things are going well treatment-wise on the back. Glenn Rice playing right now, 21 first-half points for him. Toronto still with the early 3-point lead. Rice now giving it up. Damon Stoudemire. Here he comes to save the day. Driving it and knocking it down, and the Raptors with the lead at that point. Let's update you on that score. And here in the game, it's the Raptors with the lead, 82-76. Rice had 23 after 3 quarters of play, and Walt Williams led Toronto with 19. Charlotte again has won 4 straight. Bears season in Detroit. Grizz at the Pistons. Grant Hill sprained the wrist Saturday night, had to leave the Charlotte game, but back in action, has it all taped up, ready to go. The crossover and the hoop put the Pistons up by 2, but then George Lynch of the Grizzlies from way out and knocking one down, and the Grizzlies were leading by 3 at the half, but Detroit has used a big 15-4 run in the third quarter, 59-53 now. Pistons in the lead. Vancouver searching for its first road win. Sonics losing last night in Charlotte, closing 6 in a row on the road now at Minnesota. There's the kid, Kevin Garnett, wants to get something happening, and he does! The huge slam, 10 first quarter points for him, but the Sonics moving the ball around, and they'll get it to the Hawk. Percy Hawkins, 16 points in the first quarter for Seattle. Seattle led by 9 at the end of 1, and now they pushed that way out in the second quarter. Hawkins 16, as we said, in the first, and Seattle 21 straight wins over the Timberwolves. Atlanta trying to hurt the Magic in Orlando. That's about 40 points on the bench out tonight. D. Scott and Penny Hardaway. And this is the rookie Amal McCaskill picking up the slack. Little turnaround jumper and knocking it down there. But without Penny, it's Nick Anderson running the break, and it's a little sloppy out there. Turnover, back the other way. Ty Corbin, just that easy. Atlanta had the 5-point lead at the half, and continuing a big defensive trend for this team. Atlanta has held its last 3 opponents to 77.6 points per game. Ty Corbin had 13 at the break to lead the Atlanta Hawks. Reggie, back to Charlotte, and they're playing great defense as well. Yeah. Last 4 games they've won, they've held opponents to under 90 points a game, and that's no coincidence considering Big Red's on the bench.
No, they've taken on a lot of Dave Cowan's, their head coach, his attitude, because he was a small center that played really tough defense. I talked to their assistant coach, T.R. Dunn, today, and he told me that the team runs a lot of defensive-oriented drills at practice, and the one thing that they really try to do is go body to body. They want to put that forearm on you and not let the cutters go where they want to go in any point in the game. But I tell you, tonight they need a little more body to body because they're down in Toronto in the first half.
They could use a little more. Tonight starts a 7-game road trip for the Charlotte Hornets. We'll see what they're made of. Well, the Nike Halftime Report continues. The NBA gets a ladies' touch. Our Cheryl Miller, the pride of SC, making all the right moves at the broadcast table for the LA game, the Heat and the Clippers. Ms. Miller giving it her best shot next. At 50, Starter brings you one-on-one, a matchup of NBA stars past and present. For 15 seasons, the 6'2" Hal Greer of the 76ers toyed with opponents with a slashing style that could not be contained. Miami's Tim Hardaway is another small guard who scores in big numbers. His crossover dribble has crossed up opponents throughout his 6 seasons in the NBA. Now with the Heat, he's looking to make a point in the postseason. Well, a big dose of Timmy crossover coming up next on TBS. The Miami Heat looking to close out a perfect 6-game road trip at the Clippers. For more on the heat wave blowing through the West Coast, let's go to Jim Durham and Cheryl Miller, who tonight will become the first woman to work an NBA national telecast, providing analysis for this game. So let's send you to the LA Sports Arena.
The Los Angeles Sports Arena, and tonight the Clippers on their home court entertain the Miami Heat. The LA Sports Arena. Familiar surroundings to Cheryl Miller, who starred over at Southern Cal, right next door. and who led her team to 2 national championships while she was at SC. Cheryl Miller has always been a leader in her basketball career, and tonight she leads her gender in the broadcasting field as she fills a role never before filled by a woman, that of analyst on an NBA game on national television. Cheryl, welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to history.
Thanks a lot, Jim. No pressure, right?
No pressure. Actually, the hard part is out of the way. Now we deal with basketball. Miami Heat on a real hot run coming in here. Alonzo Mourning having an outstanding season.
Well, Zoe had a huge game last night against Golden State. He was absolutely dominant on the inside, but more importantly, on the defensive end, he was superior. He was knocking shots down. Matter of fact, he ended up with a season-high 8 blocks. But if you're the Clippers, you have your hands full tonight, but there are 2 areas that they can come back. On the offensive end, since Zoe has been in foul trouble, you have to make sure you attack him early. But on the defensive end, the double teams have to get there quickly, force Alonzo Mourning to make poor decisions with the ball.
Alonzo Mourning will have to deal with some size tonight in the middle for the Clippers. We'll have it a little bit later on. Right now, let's go back to Vince.
All right, thank you, Jim. And Cheryl mentioned making Alonzo make bad decisions with the basketball. How do you do that against Mourning?
Well, first of all, I talked to assistant coach Bob McAdoo, who should have been on the NBA's top 50, and he told me that Zoe's not being instinctive down in the post. He has to know when to split the double teams, when to pass out. Check this out. Zoe in the middle, right here, he splits the double team, but he should have taken the shot there. He elects to go one more move and then let the defense adjust on him, and then he misses the 2 outside guys who are in the open.
Anyone else you think should have been on the top 50 NBA thing? All right, that's another story.
Think of a whole bunch of people.
Hey, at the half, it's the Lakers by a point. Kobe cleaning up Shaq's mess. We'll be right back with more. Tonight at the Fleet Center, it's the Lakers with just a 1-point lead at the break. Will it stay this close? Stick around for the second half. It's going to be your way shortly. Dick Hubie and Versace have it all next.
The Nike Halftime Report has been brought to you by Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth.
A wintry night in Boston, and at the Fleet Center, the Celtics and Lakers. Once a glorious matchup, and they're having a pretty tight game right now, with the Lakers leading at halftime, 52-51. And I would think, Hubie, that the Celtics have to be very pleased going against Shaquille O'Neal and the Lakers, who are 10-5 coming into this game, playing well on the road as LA, but the Celtics are more than holding their own at this point.
Well, they're winning the battle of the boards. 8 offensive rebounds, a major key. The bench has been productive. Greg Minor with 10 key points, and then Raju with such an outstanding half, in spite of the fact they're only shooting 43%.
Let's take a look at the halftime statistics. Both teams shot well over 50%, and the Lakers kept that up. And there, the point you just made, the Celtics, despite 32% shooting in the second quarter, held the Lakers even. And, of course, what helped them was their bench scoring, particularly Greg Minor.
Yeah, an excellent job by Minor. He came in, and we told you earlier, he is, when he gets healthy, they're starting to guard.
Let's take a look at the highlights. First, see who started in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is Raja on his way to 2 of his 12 points. 12 points, 5 rebounds. This is the Shaq man. He only had 2 dunks in the first half. 14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 shot blocks. Now, this is a good, strong move by Eric Williams to the hole that time. Eric Williams with 8. Here's the big guy again, sending one down strong. They're finding him in traffic.
And that's the story of the first half. And a few moments ago, Dick Versace talked with the Celtics coach, M.L. Carr.
ML, I liked the energy in the first half, but when the guys had been injured, got in, you kind of lost some rhythm there.
Well, they don't have the game legs yet, but yet and still, we still want to get them back to game situations. The energy is there. We are just got to do a little bit better job on the rotation defensively when the ball goes inside.
You got that feeling in your gut you can get one tonight?
No question in my mind. Every time I walk out here, I believe that, and I really believe that we got a chance to get this game today.
All right, Coach. Thank you.
Good enough. Thank you.
All right, and maybe they'll be waving the white towel as ML did in his playing days. Here's Shaquille O'Neal up close. He has scored so far 14 points in the game, and obviously most of those in the paint, couple of jumpers, and add to that 3 block shots as the Lakers have outblocked the Celtics in that department 7-1.
That's a big-time statistic in this game. The Lakers are just slow afoot defensively, but they are getting key shot blocks, which have not allowed the Celtics to get into, say, a 10-point lead.
All right, we're underway in the third quarter as you look at Dino Raja and some of his numbers. So it'll be Raja in the middle with Fox, Antoine Walker, Eric Williams, and Dana Barros. Same five that started the game. Kobe Bryant is on the bench as we start the second, but Jones is in there. And the forced shot miss. Here is Shaq, and now into the hands of Nick Van Exel.
Now, there's a shot block that time by Eddie Jones. That's their 8th of the game, 8-1.
And that's not surprising considering the Celtics' lack of size. And a great play by Fox as he picked Scott's pocket. And here comes a great feed into Antoine Walker, Dino Raja, and the Celtics are looking good right now as they take the 1-point lead.
Yeah, I like ML Carr's attitude here. If they continue to push the ball, they are going to get easy shots in the second half because you can see the Lakers are very sluggish.
Double team on Shaq. Good extra pass from Van Exel to Byron Scott. That was well executed, but no basket for the Lakers. So here's Dana Barros, came over from Philadelphia as a free agent. 3-point master. And there is Antoine Walker, baseline and shooting over Byron Scott. There is Walker. He's got a lot of talent. He's in double figures with 10.
Yeah, he has a nice game. You question his range as far as being a three-point shooter, but he has all the spin moves and can post up.
Now Van Exel. O'Neal setting a screen, fighting through it is Dana Barros. And there's Nick Van Exel. That's one of the faults of Van Exel's game, is that all of a sudden he'll just force up a shot, not even looking to see who's around.
Yeah, but he's entitled to 2 forces because today's his birthday.
That's right. I was going to say 3, but you're tougher than I am. Lakers coming back. Trailing now by 3 after the 1-point lead. Shaq with a great feed inside, and Eldon Campbell converts. He had 7 in the first quarter and his first basket since the first session.
That's there every single time down the floor. They're double teaming Shaq.
Fox, they double team him with Campbell and Jones, leaving Raja open at the free throw line. Dino Raja smooth now with 14 points in the game. 7 of 10 from the field. Jones misses.
And that might have been a goaltend, Dick. He might have pinned that one.
Barros coming off a Williams screen. Dana Barros, and Del Harris wants a timeout. The Celtics were trailing by 1 coming into this third quarter, but they have opened up their biggest lead of the game. 5 points, 59-54. We'll be right back.
The basketball right here. He's going to pass the ball into the post. Now you're going to see this player come down and help with a double team. That puts this player playing 2 guys. Now just watch as he releases and goes to the rim. That's layup time. See, you've got to force the defense to play it. Shaq will find you every single time down in there. You're 7 foot. You can just score at will. Force the Celtics to rotate down in.
The Celtics have outscored the Lakers 10-2. They scored the last 3 points of the second quarter, and 7-2 here in the third, and despite the pressure, the Lakers beat it with 3-on-2. Eldon Campbell misses a slam, but Eddie Jones saves the embarrassment by getting a new clock for the Lakers.
I like that strategy by the Celtics.
Van Exel, another wild shot from outside, and they're going to call a foul, and that will be against Antoine Walker of the Celtics. Here's Dick Versace.
Dick and Ubi just got out of the Celtics timeout. Coach ML Carr is emphasizing they're going to try to run pick and pop with Dina Raja being the screener. Ubi, get into the technique of the pick and pop. Back to you guys.
Yeah, we'll get to that soon. That second foul on Dino Raja, not on Walker. No look pass again by Shaq, and here's Eddie Jones missing from downtown. Walker the rebound.
That's one of the very few times they've made the second pass out of the trap.
Here's Raja, knocked away inside. Good play by Eddie Jones, forcing the steal. And now Van Exel, as the Lakers, who are down by 5, still down by 5 points. Van Exel uses his body, and O'Neal cleans up. So Shaq, with his first points of the second half, now has 16 and a foul as well. O'Neal with 16 points and 7 rebounds, and the personal foul against Eric Williams, his third.
Now this is just a bad shot by Nick Van Exel, and he caused the contact. That's why he did not get the call. You must keep the Shaq off of the board.
And Shaq makes the free throw. He Missed the first 2 in the first half, but connects here to bring the Lakers to within a pair. Here's Rick Fox driving the hoop. Scott is on Roger. Roger takes advantage, but misses the shot. Big advantage for Dino. Couldn't convert. Scott fires away. Lakers are doing a lot of that tonight.
Yeah, they are. And, you know, you have to understand your strength. The strength tonight is Shaquille O'Neal and Elton Campbell down inside. You can get those perimeter shots with 3 to 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Nearly 4 minutes gone by in this third quarter, and Eddie Jones stuffs Antoine Walker. Celtics get another opportunity. Campbell blocking Williams, and he'll call Eldon Campbell with the personal foul. Now let's take a look at tonight's Chevy scoreboard. And Toronto leading Charlotte. Charlotte's been red hot with 4 in a row. Detroit over Vancouver in the fourth quarter. Atlanta leading Orlando in the fourth. Seattle wounded after their loss to the Hornets, coming back. And there you see the rest of the scores. And for all the scores and highlights, tune in to CNN Sports tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern with Fred Hickman and Bob Lorenz.
Now, Eric Williams a year ago in his rookie season averaged 11 points a game for the Celtics. Did an excellent job, had major knee surgery over the summer.
Celtics by 4. Lakers led by 1 at the half and the quarter. Eddie Jones, spectacular baseline drive, and Jones with 11 points. And it's a 2-point Celtic lead. Lakers staging a run here. Plenty of time to go in the third. Fox backing in. And Walker fouled, and they'll call that one on Eddie Jones. And that'll be the third personal on Jones.
Anytime that a team half-court traps you, you get the ball in the corner, and when they rotate, attack the rim. And you can see that is a highlight attack. Now, that time the Celtics were in half-court pressure trap. Eddie Jones did not force the jumper from the corner, took it to the rim strong.
Antoine Walker, only a 61% free throw shooter, has 10 points and 9 rebounds, 5 off the offensive glass. Walker scored 16 against Dallas in the Celtics' last game on Sunday, and he's really raised his game in the last couple.
Oh, well, you know, he can score and he can rebound. What you're asking him to do, that when he gets fouled, that he'll shoot a better percentage. You can see he leans back on his shot, and when that happens, you're going to send a lot of them short.
So he's the Celtics version of Shaq, at least on the free throw line. Here's Eldon Campbell. Great feed. Great pass by Campbell, and Shaquille O'Neal now with 19 points is the game high scorer. And UB talked how this guy, his leads in categories in the top 7 in the NBA. That's practically unheard of. Walker inside, Eric Williams, and getting a piece of it was O'Neal. Goaltending is called, and credit the basket to Eric Williams.
Yeah, Shaq was late on the rotation that time. No doubt about it, goaltending.
Celtics by 3, 64-61. A little more than halfway remaining in this third quarter. Middle is clear. Shaq is outside, and now setting up, posting up against Roger. Open Jones for 3. Long rebound, Eldon Campbell. Now Van Exel picked up on the switch by Eric Williams, drives the basket, and it drops, no basket, a loose ball foul. And a loose ball foul has been called against the Lakers, and that will be against Eldon Campbell, and that'll be 3 against Campbell.
His third personal foul, 3 team fouls.
And the rule, the basket is good. Is that right, UB?
Yes, it was. Van Exel scored that, and then as the ball was in the air, you had that loose ball contact.
Celtics lead is down to 1. They have the ball nearly the halfway mark of this third. Walker, turnaround over Kobe Bryant, who's come in the game. Roger tried to tip it in, and now it comes down to Jones. Fast team out there for the Lakers right now. Campbell and O'Neal, and then you have Kobe Bryant, Nick Van Exel, and Eddie Jones.
Main thing for the Celtics, force the Lakers to play half-court basketball.
Campbell open, top of the key, and it bounces in. That looked like that was going to come off way off, and Roger was waiting for the rebound, but it bounced in, and the Lakers, who were down by 5, now have regained the lead. 65-64. Raja working against Campbell, traveling called against Dino Raja.
Now, they could have called an offensive foul as well. The Lakers have changed their matchup. No longer is Shaq playing Raja. They're playing Campbell on him. Smart move. Give them a different look and then allow the Shaq man to come around and double team any type of a post-up. Now, you see a Campbell right here. Now, just watch as he steps back right into the chest. See, they could have called an offensive foul.
And Exel firing over to Kobe Bryant. Raja the rebound. It's odd the way the Lakers have changed the matchup against Raja with Campbell on there, not vice versa. Williams wide open. Went right around Eldon Campbell, and Eric Williams now with 14. The front court for the Celtics have 39 points between them. Pretty good number.
Well, Williams is not going to take that long jump shot anytime that he has a dribble.
And a good feed inside. That was Eldon Campbell, who's been passing it well on the entry pass to Shaq, who now has 21. Campbell has 4 assists. Shaquille O'Neal has 4 assists as well. Out of bounds, last touched by the Celtics.
Now, that was a good pass. Antoine Walker called to the ball with his left hand. The ball went right to the hand, but he took his eye off the pass.
Travis Knight has replaced Eldon Campbell, who goes out with 11 points and 3 personal fouls. 67-66 the Lakers. Led by 1 after 1 quarter, 1 at the half, and lead 1 now. Walker just took it away from Bryant.
Oh, that was a weak pass into the post.
2 rookies, both wearing number 8. Going at each other. Walker. Fox fires for 3. Rick Fox from downtown, and that's his first of the game. And it's a 69-67 lead for the Lakers.
Well, you have to know who you're playing. Walker and Williams are slashers. Fox is a three-point shooter.
Boston with the lead, and Travis Knight with the lay-in ties the game at 69.
Knight opened up that time because he caught Rick Fox right in the face with an elbow.
3.5 remaining in this third quarter. Barros. He hits a 3. That is his second from downtown. Dana Barros, one of the best. Once hit a three-pointer in 89 straight games. That's an NBA record, and that gives the Celtics a lead again.
Well, for his career, he's a 42% shooter, and they're not even playing him as he's coming off the screen.
And Eddie Jones driving in and fouled on the baseline.
Yeah, Eddie Jones hurt his hand on that, Dick. Just keep an eye on this. See, as Barros comes over, you got to get up on top of him. He wants the 3. He launches 6 attempts a game. He's averaged 42% throughout his career. Now, here's a strong move by Eddie, but Eddie gets his shooting hand caught on the rim. And you can see he was in a little bit of pain.
Eddie Jones, a 78% free throw shooter, misses the first. Personal foul was on Rick Fox, his 3rd foul. Coming up next, the Miami Heat against the Los Angeles Clippers from the Sports Arena. We'll have that game for you in the second half of our doubleheader, our LA-tinged doubleheader with the Lakers and Clippers. Williams in the lane hits the jumper. Eric Williams now with 16 points.
Eric Williams looks like he's really intimidated, isn't he?
5 over his season's average, Hubie.
He just loves to get in the paint and out-muscle you.
And the Lakers drive and a foul. Kobe Bryant foul. Well, Dick Versace asks ML Carr, do you think you can get this one? ML Carr says, I do. And the Celtics are looking better every time. Timeout.
Big Shots, 8:05 Eastern, every Saturday night on TBS.
It's the only one out there. And here it comes. The only compact pickup to offer a third door. Okay, folks, show's over. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Back here at the TBS studios, it appears the Hornets losing some of their sting away from the Hive. In Toronto, it came down to this. The Hornets trailing by 3, and Glenn Rice, who had 29 in the game, missing the three-pointer. Doug Christie comes down with a rebound. The Raptors come away with a win, 92-88, ending Charlotte's 4-game win streak. The Raptors had lost 6 in a row. It's the first of 7 straight on the road for the Hornets. Let's go back now to Boston. Dick and Hubie.
Tell me, Hubie, the Hornets have won 4 of their last 5. What's behind their surge?
Well, I think that by moving Mason to the power forward position, putting Rice at small forward, Curry at the 2 guard, and then Muggsy Bogues, the amount of energy that he gives that team. Then you look at the bench. Now you're bringing Geiger as well as Burrell and Goldwire. You're rotating 8 guys, and they're playing solid defense.
2:47 remaining in the third quarter, and the Celtics lead 74-70. We told you that they have 7 players in double figures. No one really breaking the bank scoring-wise, but tonight the Celtics continue that outstanding balance. They have 6 players with 9 or more points. That's how they're getting it done.
Any player tonight who's wearing a white uniform who can keep his dribble 2 to 3 bounces and attacking the paint is making something good happen for himself. And if you think about it, that's showing you that they can break the Lakers down at any time defensively, because Campbell and Shaq are late on the shot blocking this half.
Eddie Jones picked up by Williams and Roger. Feed to O'Neal. No basket, 3-second violation. Call against the Lakers.
That's a tough call. That's a tough call. Probably a right call. But Shaq was standing in the lane. You love the pass, and you like the fact that it could have been a potential 3-point play.
Under 2.5 to play in the third quarter. And we'll have an offensive foul against Boston.
Anytime that you set the screen, you are not allowed to raise your forearms up as the defender is coming around the screen.
Foul was on Antoine Walker. His second illegal pick was the call on the offensive foul. Van Exel again trying to use a screen from Shaq. He loses the screen, but hits the line drive 3. Nick Van Exel with his 3rd from downtown, and the Lakers trail by 1. No one is allowed to have a big lead in this game. That had to be the rule at the beginning. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Barrows comes back and hits a 3 of his own.
At one time, there were 3 guys guarding him, and he just, spun around, reverse pivot, and ends up all alone for an open 3.
So Van Exel and Barrows exchanging 3-point shots. Shaquille O'Neal off the rim. O'Neal with 21 points, 7 coming here in the third. But now the Celtics get it down low to Antoine Walker, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2 with the Celtics up by 3.
The Celtic transition game is there. Anytime that they can force a turnover or get the Lakers to miss, their quickness is getting them the advantage in the open floor.
So Travis Knight with the foul. That is his first foul. And here is Antoine Walker, rookie from Kentucky, having a good game with 11 points and 9 rebounds, but struggling from the free throw line as he misses the front end. And here is Greg Minor coming into the game. Eric Williams goes out. Williams with 16 points, and he's been the leading scorer for Boston.
Now Greg Minor, who's come in now, remember he had a big 10 points off the bench in limited time in that first half. 10 points in 9 minutes.
4-point lead. Back with the bad shooting. Minor really was the guy who kept the Celtics in the game in the second quarter. Here's the good rotation. Bryant misses out of bounds. It'll be Boston's ball. 1:17 remaining in the third.
Anytime that Shaq gets double teamed and the Lakers send a guy down the lane to the basket, everyone is covered. The top of the circle is wide open.
That's how close this game has been as we get close to the 1-minute mark in the third quarter. Dino Roger against Shaquille O'Neal with an inside move and a foul before the shot.
That could have been a very pretty play, or it could have been a travel. You're absolutely right. He came down in there, went for that spin move. Now just watch this. As he comes down in here now, you're going to see the spin right there, and they get the push in the back for the travel.
And Shaquille O'Neal with his second personal. Dino Raja on the free throw line. Raja is an 81% free throw shooter. And as we say that, he misses the first. Eldon Campbell has replaced Travis Knight in the Laker lineup. Again, let's take a look at how the matchup has gone. It was closer earlier, but O'Neal has moved ahead in the scoring department in particular.
Well, Raja only has 2 points in this half. But if you think about it, Dick, he's really not getting shooting opportunities like he did in the early part of the game.
And the other thing he hasn't gotten all season long, which is really unusual for a center, going to the free throw line now only 23 times all year in his 9 games. That doesn't get it done for a big
maybe
man.
he likes that fadeaway jump shot.
Maybe. Under a minute to go, 13 on the shot clock. 5-point Celtic lead, matches their biggest. And here's Eldon Campbell in the paint. Loose ball, and Rick Fox comes out with it.
Not push, you have to push.
Tommy Heinsohn always said that, Hubie. Got to push the ball up. Here is Fox feeding inside, and missing and getting the basket that time was Greg Minor. Again doing the job off the bench.
I'll tell you, once Minor gets in shape, it's going to give them another guy. I like what ML Carr said. We have 2 good bench players tonight. Getting back D. Brown and Minor gives us a little depth.
11 on the shot clock. Differential of about 6 seconds between the game and shot clocks. Van Exel out to Kobe Bryant. Misses a 3, but here's Eldon Campbell with a follow. And with 5 seconds to go, the Celtics have a chance to get a shot off. Rick Fox driving it in the crowd, fires it up, and is fouled with 0.2 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And he was fouled in 3-point territory. Fox will go to the line for 3.
That's the old story of shaking the ball and going to the basket too early. You force the shot up, but then remembering how many seconds are left. That's a guard's job. And that was smart basketball. Take it up and go for the 3.
But not a smart play by any stretch for Corey Blount, who fouled Rick Fox downtown. And Fox going the line for 3. He's in double figures now.
Well, throughout Fox's career, he first-round draft chip by the Celtics. He's been here 5 years. This is his 6th season. He is a steady 78% foul shooter, and he's averaged right at 10 points a game over his career.
80% this year, coming off the best year of his career. And he makes 2 out of 3 as the buzzer sounds. We have had balanced scoring, and the Celtics finish on an 8-0 run. There are the Celtics in double figures, 6 in all. And after 3 quarters of play here at the Fleet Center in Boston, the Celtics, with the biggest lead either team has had, lead the LA Lakers 82-73. Welcome back to the NBA on TBS. And the Bull and Finch Pub, which was the inspiration for the TV show Cheers here in Boston, a popular hangout as we welcome you back to the Fleet Center. The Celtics with a world of championships trying to regain that role, but leading the Lakers 82-73 going into the fourth quarter.
Now the key is that third quarter, a big 31 for the Celtics. At the end of 3 quarters, Boston shooting 49, LA 46. In 3-point shooting, Boston 3 for 7, LA 4 for 14. Celtics 10 offensive rebounds, holding their own on the boards.
Lakers coming out with Corey Blount, Eddie Jones, Byron Scott, Derek Fisher, and Eldon Campbell. Shaquille O'Neal on the bench as we start the fourth quarter, getting a rest, and Campbell is fouled, turning to the hoop, and will go to the line to shoot 2. So a 3-guard offense. And Eldon Campbell, as Shaq starts the fourth quarter on the bench, he has scored 21 points and is the leading scorer in the game.
Anytime that you go to your second units right at the end of the quarter and the beginning of the fourth quarter, you're hoping that they will get a good high percentage start, stay within the offense that you want to run, and that the unit understands who the prime guys are out there on the floor.
There you see the back-to-back Blues that the Lakers have faced. 4-0 in the first game of back-to-backs, but 0-3 in the second. Campbell misses both free throws and a rebound by D. Brown. So the Celtics have D. Brown, Greg Minor, Rick Fox, along with Frank Burkowski and Marty Conley.
Now there's your half-court trap. It's smart to get it in the middle and reverse the ball to the other side of the floor.
Fox slicing in off the glass, trying to tip it in, and Derek Fisher, the rookie out of Arkansas Little Rock, he is the backup point guard. Here's Byron Scott firing away, and that is a two-point basket for Scott in his 14th year. He's got 5 in the game, and it's a 7-point lead for Boston.
Well, he's been struggling tonight. And that's only his second field goal. He's like 2 for 7 from the floor.
D. Brown is guarded by Fisher.
Not thank you, Dick, but thank you, Marty.
Okay, good. Well, you know, we had a great rendition of the national anthem. Let's give credit where credit is due.
That's right. See, Dell cannot be happy tonight. You know, he's seeing no defensive intensity at either end of the floor, and then offensively, you know, they just can't get into any kind of sync.
Illegal defense against the Lakers. That's the first one called tonight against either team. Pick and roll. Here's Burkowski. And Burkowski has it blocked by Corey Blunt. Good play by the former Bearcat. 82-75. The Celtics by 7. Can they fend off the Lakers in this final quarter? Corey Blunt with an ill-advised scoop shot that fell about 5 feet short of the target. Fox defended by Byron Scott. Here's Burkowski, who hits. Very valuable guy is Frank Burkowski, who played for the Seattle Sonics and started the last 3 games of the NBA Finals against the Bulls. He can tangle inside and hit the 3.
Dick, he's 8 for 17 in threes. He's shooting close to 50%.
Very valuable veteran, 37 years old. Jones hits a 3. Eddie Jones with his second from downtown, now with 15 points. He's the second leading scorer for the Lakers behind Shaq's 21. And the Celtic lead is 6.
You cannot relax on Eddie Jones. He is a lethal three-point shooter.
Byron Scott committing the foul. And Minor will go to the line for Scott. That'll be his second personal.
Now that is a difficult matchup for Scott. Minor is an ex-forward, 6'6" out of the University of Louisville. He's conditioned to post up people. Scott's giving away the inches and the upper body strength.
Shaquille O'Neal back in the game, and Dino Raja comes back as well. Conlon going out. So Shaq, you saw his numbers, and Raja, who scored 10 points in the first quarter and has 15 for the game, comes in. So now with 9:38 to go, Minor makes both free throws, and the Celtics right now keeping the Lakers at bay.
Yeah, they like Minor on the line. He's a 78 to 79% foul shooter.
Minor has 14 points in 12 minutes, so he's made the most of his playing opportunity tonight. 7 on the shot clock for the Lakers. Here's Jones with a spin move. Eldon Campbell keeps it alive, and Shaq foul going up. That was Eldon Campbell, who has played a very valuable role as a playmaker for the forwards tonight.
Yeah, it was interesting that time. There's no way that Burkowski can keep O'Neal off the board. O'Neal was behind him, but when he went up for that rebound, he just beat him with upper body strength.
Don't forget, we have the Heat and the Clippers coming up next on TBS Friday. The Lakers and the Pistons. Grant Hill against Shaq. Not playing each other. And then next Tuesday on TNT, the Heat and the Knicks. Shaq misses both. He's 1 for 5 from the free throw line. And the Lakers are only 7 of 17 from the free throw stripe. So the Celtics have a big edge there. Kick ball will give Boston a new 24-second clock.
Now, this trap is definitely befuddling the second unit for the Celtics. It'll be interesting to see if they bring it at them again. Now they're staying straight man-to-man.
D. Brown coming back in action. First time he has played this year. And there is Minor working in, tipped away by Eddie Jones. Last touch by the Lakers. 12 seconds for the Celtics.
I don't know if Raja could have possibly caught that pass. That was a bullet.
Fox will inbound. Brown scoops it under Fisher, and the rebound by Eddie Jones. 8-point Boston lead with 8:43 remaining in the fourth quarter. Last year, the Lakers defeated the Celtics twice by double figures. Jones rims the line drive shot. Eldon Campbell crashed the boards. There's a 5-on-3 break for Boston. Nowhere to go for Minor, and he throws it away into the hands of Eldon Campbell. Costly turnover after it looked like the Celtics had numbers.
When are these guys going to go to Shaquille O'Neal?
Fisher misses a three now when he has to pick up the loose ball.
I mean, I don't understand it. They have Bukowski playing Shaquille O'Neal, and they continue to run screen and rolls out high on the wing, and they're going away from the Shaq.
So here is Shaq. The Celtic foul was on Dino Radja, his third. And after going 1 for 5, O'Neal hits the first free throw. Remember last night against the Philadelphia 76ers, Shaq hit 5 of his last 6, even though his free throw shooting numbers weren't pretty. So he had it down when the Lakers needed it. Greg Minor out of the game, replaced by Antoine Walker. Shaq 1 out of 2 and a 7-point Boston lead. Now the Celtics setting it up with D. Brown at point guard.
They're going two-man game with Radja.
Radja guarded by Eldon Campbell. And a foul before the shot, no basket if it goes, and Eldon Campbell with his 4th personal foul.
Well, they'll allow you as a defender on a postman to use your forearm across the back of the offensive player, but you cannot take it off and then use it as a weapon to deliver a blow. And that's what happened on that call.
Celtics have 3 team fouls and the Lakers 2 in this final quarter. Jump shot, D. Brown. D. Brown, who had lower back pain in his 7th year from Jacksonville, another former #1 playing for the Celtics. First points of the season for D. Brown, and Eldon Campbell spinning his way in the lane. The basket counts and a foul.
Dick, there is no way that they can be played down inside. Now they're running a high split. You can see D. Brown going to that left corner for that long jump shot. It's nice to see D getting in the flow. He has not played in any games this year. Now watch Eldon Campbell just spin on Bukowski and take it up in his face. There is no way that Bukowski can play Eldon Campbell or Shaquille O'Neal down in the low post.
Byron Scott to the bench, and Nick Van Exel comes in. Scott has had an unproductive night thus far with only 5 points. Campbell, this is the free throw, 88-81.
Now Campbell is an 81% foul shooter, and you would think that he has never made a foul shot if you watch his technique tonight.
He said he made 18 in a row at one point. Antoine Walker, the rookie from Kentucky, now with 14 points. Celtics lead by 9, which matches their biggest lead of the game. Here's Nick Van Exel. Jones picking him up as Walker. Now Shaq, you're right. They haven't even gone close to Shaq offensively. Fisher with an off-balance drive misses. Del Harris has pushed on. Here's a 2-on-1, and Radja's pass, or Radja's has it knocked out of bounds as D. Brown tried to get it, and Derek Fisher made a great play saving the pass.
Derek Fisher intercepted that ball. He played that passing lane and played it beautifully.
22nd timeout called by the Lakers. Talked about how Shaquille O'Neal has not been involved. He has only 3 shots from the field, Hubie, in the second half, and one of those was a dunk after he got his own rebound.
Well, it comes down to understanding your strengths when you're on the floor, and especially when you are on the road.
Full timeout now taken, and we'll be right back. Right now, let's bounce back in NBA history. Lakers and Celtics have a long tradition of meeting in the NBA Finals. 1962, Elgin Baylor, 61 points in Game 5. Celtics won that series in 7. Then in 84, Gerald Henderson steal and lay in Game 2. Celtics turned it around and won in 7. In 85, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar leads the Lakers to their first defeat of the Celtics in the Finals. And in 87, remember Magic Johnson's famed hook shot as the Lakers won for their first of consecutive titles in 6 games. Tonight, a sellout crowd who will be only the second time this year. The only other one was against the Bulls and Michael Jordan. They used to have a string of sellouts in Boston Garden.
Dick, they're averaging 15,200 a game. That's 3,400 short of a sellout. But in the old Boston Garden, you sold it out at 14,600.
Right.
So, you know, if they were still playing over there, it would be a wash, and they might be still selling out the building in spite of the fact that the team is struggling.
And keep in mind that the Celtics could have, for the first time ever, 2 lottery picks. No team has ever had 2 because they have the Dallas Mavericks #1 pick in the exchange for the deal with Eric Montross, and they beat Dallas the other game. So it's possible the Celtics could get 2 great picks to get them back into the swing of things, at least to build.
Well, they definitely need that, and they also need for their 3 centers to get healthy, and if this team is going to do anything at all for the remainder of the season.
There's Fox with a steal and Van Exel with a foul on D. Brown.
I like their quickness. We said at the top of the show that they have a lot of energy, that they can match up with the Lakers at the other 4 positions. They have quickness. They play in spurts. Now tonight, we're seeing the spurts, and we're seeing them sustain the spurts for long periods of time.
90-81, the Celtics by 9 points. Coming in with a record of 3-8. And Fox goes in, and a offensive foul called against Rick Fox, his 4th. Now let's take a look at tonight's McDonald's game reset. 6 Celtics in double figures. Remember, they had 7 coming into this game. Free throw shooting, thanks to Shaq's struggles, 40%. He's not the only one, however. And Shaquille O'Neal, 22 points, but he's been a missing man for the Lakers.
You know, with the Lakers playing 2 small guys right now to match up, you know, with the Celtics, they are really giving a lot away at the defensive end of the floor.
Fox has committed 2 fouls in the last 30 seconds and now has 5.
Yeah, this is major. Now, they're going to come with Dana Barros right now for Fox. They'll go small to match up here.
So Fox with 5 fouls.
Dick, we still have a ton of time here.
More than half the period remaining, 6:10. Fisher hits the free throw.
You can see the second half, the 17 touches, a lot of double teaming. The fouling, naturally he's not making his foul shots, and the passing out. He is looking, and he's making good decisions.
Derek Fisher, a 69% free throw shooter, hits both. He's got 6 points to bring the Lakers to within 7 points. Burkowski, Raja, D. Brown, Dana Barros, and Antoine Walker, the 5 out there for the Celtics. Here's Antoine Walker over Jones. Walker, 16 in a row and a quick 16 points on a quick release.
Yeah, he has the size on Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones had a hand on that.
Feed in Campbell from O'Neal, and they've gone the other way tonight, but Shaquille O'Neal in the playmaking role on that time down.
Well, we showed that on the telestrator. Anytime that it's Elton Campbell going down the lane, he finds him immediately. The dunk is there.
5 assists for the big guy, Shaq. Raja inside has it blocked by Eddie Jones, out of bounds. Last touch by LA.
Now they got that. You can see right now, once this ball goes in a trap, Elton Campbell going to the rim is wide open. Just watch it. And there goes the ball in. Now you're going to see Raja comes over. The defense is late.
Meanwhile, Raja on the inbounds pass hits the jump shot. Dino now with 17 points. And the Celtics, again with a 9-point lead. That's their biggest lead. They've had it several times throughout this game. And Van Exel fires a 3. That could take you out of the game as well as get you back in, especially when you have as much as 5 minutes remaining. But he's 25 years old today, so we'll give him a little grace.
There you go.
They're very compassionate at this table.
2-man game here. They're going to allow Raja to go one-on-one. Look at the top of the circle.
Raja working against Campbell, up and under, lays it in. Dino Raja has hit 2 baskets in a row, has 19, and the Celtics have opened up a double-digit lead for the first time tonight, 96-85. Shaq double team. Good extra pass from Van Exel to Fisher, and he hits a 3. Derek Fisher.
Isn't it amazing, Dick? Anytime you get double teamed, it takes 2 passes. Not the first pass. Make the second pass, and you're wide open.
And Fisher, who's gone in shooting only 18% from downtown, hit a clutch basket when the Celtics were pulling away. and it's 96 to 88 in favor of Boston. Wind down to 4 minutes to go, and Dino Raja going up for the shot. He's fouled.
Tonight, the Celtics have worn out the left side of the floor, posting up Raja, Walker, Williams, Burkowski, and then taking you off the dribble to the basket, and it has been very successful.
Eldon Campbell now with 5 personal fouls. Rick Fox picked up 5 and went to the bench. But now Campbell, who has come alive tonight to the tune of 15 points. That's 6 more than his season's average, but he's 1 away from being disqualified. Heat and Clippers come up in the second half of our TBS doubleheader tonight. While we have a moment, we want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Great Turkey Day tomorrow. That's a day that you can splurge and eat as much as you want of the stuffing, the yams, and the turkey, and the cranberry sauce. And Hubie, I know you will.
Well, we're hoping to have a very nice family gathering in Atlanta, and I know you're off to Dallas and a little bit of the bird on the Madden machine. Is that true?
Well, if the microwave does the job, I hope to enjoy it. Missed free throws, and the Lakers down by 8 points. Van Exel finds Eddie Jones driving the basket, nowhere to go, and a foul before the shot against Boston.
Anytime that the Lakers reverse the ball to the opposite side of the floor and then bring Shaquille O'Neal to the ball, they have a strong 2-man game going.
Eddie Jones with the free throw, so neither team has a foul to give the rest of the way. Jones now looking for his 17th point. Here's the timeout story. The Lakers have 4 full, Boston 2 full timeouts plus their 20.
Now you cannot. You have to be able to put people away, and this is what the Celtics have not been able to do this year, but give them their due. They've been playing with injury-riddled teams, a lot of different players night in and night out.
11-point lead has been cut to 6. Here's Frank Burkowski blocked by Shaquille O'Neal.
Look out now.
4 on O'Neal, 3 on 2. There's the loop pass to Eddie Jones from Nick Van Exel, and the Lakers have come within 4 points. 3:18 to go.
You have to use your head here right now. You have to be smart. You have to go to your bread and butter.
Lakers on a 7-0 run the last minute. Dino Raja, high arcing shot. His trademark misses. And here come the Lakers again down by 4. They've made up 7 points in a hurry on the Celtics. And we have under 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Van Exel to Eldon Campbell fouled, and he can cut it to 2.
Now that time, Van Exel decided that I'm taking this one-on-one to the rim. When the defense rotated to him, he was able to split and make a beautiful pass to Campbell.
When did you stop loving me?
The Nissan Altima, ranked the best car in its class in initial quality. Financing for the Nissan Altima is now available at these special rates.
A long time ago, someone said, "I'm better than you." The fearless face off. They charge headlong into the crease, into boards, into history. Fiery tempers spill across frozen tundra. Players get faster, more aggressive, less polite. A frenzied dash for a cup where keepers are unconscious, forwards are psychic, and hats are for tricks. Human sacrifice in the name of Lord Stanley. And into center ice, it's carved, "I'm better than you, and I can prove it." NHL 97, if it's in the game. EA Sports, it's in the game.
Vin Baker to NBA chess pass drill level B.
Vin, thanks for coming. I'd like to show you something.
Jersey test positive. Commence starter sock performance analysis.
Put these with the others. Today we're simulating a home game to test thermal protection. Yeah! You're the man! You ever been to Milwaukee?
Temperature reduction in progress.
We're going to show you Eldon Campbell setting a screen. Now, as Van Exel comes over and comes down, you'll see Raja double team with D. Brown. Now, keep an eye on this now, and then watch Campbell come right down the lane. Now, as we get to this point right here, you're going to see Frank Bukowski is looking. He's got two guys to defend. Unfortunately, he picks the wrong guy. You see, as he opens up, that opened up the lane. Beautiful. And then the foul.
So Eldon Campbell will go to the free throw line with 2:49 remaining in the fourth quarter. The Celtics lead the Lakers 96-92. Eldon Campbell, we talked about Shaq's struggles at the free throw line. Eldon Campbell, who normally is a brilliant free throw shooter at 81%, only 1 for 5 from the stripe tonight, and that is unlike him.
And he's been a solid free throw shooter, you know, throughout his career. Let's just see if he just steps up here and accepts the pressure.
Those are his numbers on the year and what he's done tonight. And he's still struggling from the line. If Lakers can always point to the free throw shooting as what could cost them this game in a close battle.
Well, as a team, they only shoot 67%. That's 27th in the league.
And they're 50% tonight at 13 for 26. That won't get it done. 96-93, however, they've made a dent in the Celtic lead.
Well, ML Carr made a good point to us before the game. That being, we get leads, but we cannot close. That's our biggest problem, closing the game.
They've had double-digit leads in all but 2 games this year. They've had an 11-point lead in this one. Dana Barros with a 3, and maybe this one won't go by the boards. Barros with his 3rd from downtown has 15 points as the Celtics continued their balanced scoring. 99-93, Boston leading with 2:15 to go. Here's Campbell in the low post against Eric Williams. Misses the short jumper and into the hands of Dana Barros.
Nice block at that time by Eric Williams. Even though Campbell shot up over the top of him, he kept them away from the offensive rebound.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And the Celtics beat the Lakers. Here's the feed into Williams, knocked away. Crowd wanted a foul. Instead, it was a turnover. Van Exel against the bigger Raja travels. He traveled all the way, going up against the bigger Dino Raja.
Yeah, that was kind of
reckless.
You know, reckless is a kind. Because you're going in, you're inside of 2 minutes. There was no need because it was a 2 against 3.
But Hubie, it is his 25th birthday.
I think
have we beaten that into the ground?
Yes, we have.
1:38 to go, a 6-point lead for Boston. Antoine Walker for 3.
Oh, boy.
So Barros and Walker hit critical downtown baskets and may have broken this game open. It's 102-93, and the Lakers want a timeout.
Now just keep an eye right here now. Walker just measures this one. Shaq is late getting there on the rotation.
And the Celtics 5 of 9 from 3-point range, and their lead is 9.
When did you stop loving me? How long have I been a memory?
The Nissan Altima, ranked the best car in its class in initial quality.
Did you stop?
Financing for the Nissan Altima is now available at these special rates.
I can. I can. I can.
When developing the Seiko Kinetic watch, we applied for 50 patents. How could we fit them all inside? We took out the battery. Seiko Kinetic, the amazing quartz watch that never needs a battery.
102-93. First it was Dana Barros, and now Antoine Walker, who had time to set this up.
He's not known as a 3-point shooter, but you can see he put that one on a tripod and just launched it.
And of course, while we wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, that includes our crew, Rowan Backfish, our producer, Gary Lehman, our director, Marty Aronoff here at the table with us. And I hope everyone has a fine Thanksgiving day. The rookies of LA, 14, Walker with 19 and 11, a double-double for the rookie from Kentucky. Kobe Bryant has checked into the game, so the Lakers will have Bryant, Van Exel, Eddie Jones, Derek Fisher, and Shaquille O'Neal. 2 rookies are in there, but where has Shaq been? Only 3 for 5 and 8 points this half. He hasn't seen the ball.
No, he hasn't seen the ball, and when they did, they forced him to call a timeout.
And
Good
leaves him with 1.
Yep, good defense that time.
They got 1 timeout left. But again, on what are they doing to prevent Shaq from getting chances here?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have to. We brought the point out time and time again that the Lakers continue to go to high screen and rolls out on the wings rather than go into Shaq early. Now, Del Harris told us today that he likes to catch Shaq while he's moving. But still in all, in a game like this, he can overpower any player on the floor that the Celtics have to offer from a defensive standpoint. And you have to, when you're on the road, a lot of times you have to make perimeter people unhappy to understand that we're going to win this game down inside. And then force them to double and triple team. And then he will kick it out to you, and you will have a better three-point opportunity.
Want to remind you, the Heat and the Clippers come up next following our game from the Sports Arena. Jim Durham and Cheryl Miller will have that game for you. Second half of our TBS doubleheader. So the Celtics with a 102-93 lead with 1:33 remaining. Celtics with great balance. Dino Radja and Antoine Walker each with 19. Eric Williams 16, Dana Barros 15, and Greg Minor 14 off the bench. Shaq with 22. Eddie Jones 19, the leading scorers for the Lakers, and they turn it over trying to get it inside to Shaq. And a big one, that's a critical one.
Look out for the traps now.
Brown finds Antoine Walker. 1:18 to go in the 4th quarter. The Celtics appear to be in command of this one.
Yeah, get the ball in the middle and then kick the ball out wide and get it to your good foul shooter.
And Rick Fox is fouled and will go to the line. So the Lakers' 3-game road winning streak is in jeopardy here. Off to their best start in 5 years, and the Boston Celtics, who came into this game with a record of 3-5 here on the parquet, headed for a victory. Fox on the free throw line. Fox with 11 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists.
You always like to see the ball in the hands of your best foul shooters, and we tell you that Rick Fox is shooting at 80% this year.
He's 5 for 6 from the line. 6 of 7 for Fox. And that matches the biggest lead of the game, and the crowd chanting, and it's been a while since we heard "Beat LA" from the crowd here in Boston, but they've got to feel good about the way they played tonight.
Yeah, they sure have, and they put together, right close to the 48 minutes. It's been nice to watch that they've accepted the responsibility. They've had a nice game plan by taking people off the dribble and neutralizing the size factor. But then again, LA has played into their hands with a lackadaisical defensive effort, and especially in their rotating and shot blocking in the second half.
Rick Fox fouling out, as you saw, with 13 points. And Del Harris with a stoic look on his face as Derek Fisher on the free throw line for 2.
Well, let's look at LA here a second, Dick. Okay. This is their second trip to the East. Now that's incredible.
Plus they've been to Texas.
Plus they have also been to Texas. They have played every Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Now that's difficult to do early in the year.
And plus they've had flu, they've had various injuries. They've lost Cedric Sabalas for 6 to 8 weeks. So with all of those problems, we talked to Del Harris today, 10-5 ain't all that bad at this stage considering what they have gone through.
That's correct. They've done a very nice job in spite of everything. And you can be picky and say, well, if they lose this tonight, 4 back-to-backs, they win the first one, and they lose the second one in all 4 back-to-back encounters. And then you say, well, they've lost to a lot of teams that are under 500 in that back-to-back game. Well, you have to also look at the total picture, because in the second half of the season, the schedule's going to balance out in their favor.
Dee Brown missed both free throws. Kobe Bryant has it blocked inside. The block was by Dino Radja. Here's Dana Barros. With under a minute to go, the Celtics are going to beat the Lakers. Shaq committing the foul. And tonight's butt player of the game is Dino Radja, who scored 19 points, 9 rebounds on 50% from the floor. Interesting with the great scoring balance that the Boston Celtics have not had a 20-point scorer since the death of Reggie Lewis, which is amazing that they have not had the big score at all. And this was a team that had many scorers around 20 for many years.
Well, you know, when you looked at the top 50 players in the history of the NBA, you know, it's just overpowered with how many Boston Celtics are in there. And then when you look at what happened here, you had the death of Len Bias, you had the death of Reggie Lewis, you had the retirement of Bird, McHale, and then Parrish moving on. And for those 5 great athletes, you got nothing in return.
There was another member of one of those great teams, Dennis Johnson. He was Casey Jones, another assistant who, 2 of them won 2 titles. They won a lot more, but together they won 2. Brett Szabo has come in the ball game for the Celtics in the waning moments. Turnover. Eric Williams with a spectacular stuff to put the exclamation point on a Boston victory tonight. They lead 108-94 as we get close to a half a minute remaining in the game.
Well, the people that are here in attendance, they just want to see that effort night in and night out.
They're getting the effort even in losing games.
Yes, and you can see they truly appreciate the effort here tonight against a quality team. What they want to see them do is play the teams that are 500 and below and execute with that same enthusiasm.
Szabo, and the crowd goes wild. Brett Szabo, who played in Germany last year and had been in the CBA since 1991, gets the basket to end it as the Celtics shoot 51% and score 110 against the LA Lakers. Listen to the crowd as they salute Boston. It is always special when the Celtics beat the Lakers. And they have taken the measure of the Lakers soundly to win 110-94. Shaquille O'Neal had 1 point in the 4th quarter of this game, ended up with 22. And a bunch of top scorers for the Celtics, again with the balance. Radja with 19, and Antoine Walker also had 19. And right now, Walker is with Dick Versailles.
Clutch 3. They've been waiting for somebody in a green and white shirt to hit some clutch threes since Larry Bird left. Tell us about that shot.
Well, they didn't come on me. They was trapping and being very aggressive, so they left me wide open on the wing, and D kept telling me to shoot it. Then I finally shot it, and I made it. So, you know, it came at the right time.
But you're not known as a three-point shooter.
Well, I can do a little bit of everything. I ain't gonna say I can't be a knockdown shooter, but, you know, if you leave me open, I got the confidence that I can make it.
Are you starting to feel the pride of wearing the Celtic uniform?
I felt this since day one. We know we struggled early on, but now we know we're starting to put it together. Now we just won our last 2 games, and hopefully we can put it together for more than 2 games now.
Now, you've got a ball club here that's just got some players off the injured list. Do you think now that you could be a team that can maybe make a run for the 8th spot?
Oh, of course. I think we can get higher than the 8th spot. It's very early. It's still, you know, 60-some-odd games left, and we're getting everybody back healthy. So if we continue to play together, we can make anything happen.
All right, Antoine, congratulations.
All right, thanks a lot.
All right, Dick and you, be back to you.
All right, 12 rebounds for Walker as the Celtics out-rebounded the Lakers by 8. And when we come back, we'll be joined in our studios by Vince and Reggie, and we'll see you shortly.
TBS Destination Sunday, every Sunday night at